Alright, time to reveal. This is Uncle Matthias, who on February 19 in 1942 captured a Japanese pilot, and excuse my pronunciations, by the name of Hajime Toyoshima. Toyoshima became the first prisoner of war to be captured on Aussie soil. This is quite significant, actually. So, after attacking Darwin, Toyoshima crashes on the Tiwi Islands, and Uncle Matthias, while wandering around, doing his thing, going about his business, sees the downed pilot, sneaks up on him with his tomahawk, pokes him in the back, and tells him to stick him up, and also grabs a hold of his sidearm. Toyoshima is then taken into custody, and Uncle Matthias is, of course, thanked. Uncle Matthias did not join the military, because at the time, indigenous people, such as Uncle Matthias, were discouraged and or prevented from joining, let alone not even being citizens of their own country, or even being considered humans. It wouldn't be until the late 20th century that the terra nullius doctrine, the doctrine of no man's land, would be overturned by the High Court. And it wouldn't be until at least the 60s that indigenous people were actually counted on the census, unfortunately. I mean, and when I say unfortunately, I mean it's unfortunate that it took that long. Not being counted on the census being unfortunate, that's a good thing. So after bringing him in, he was thanked and ended up becoming a personal guard for the RAAF officer on the island. And it wouldn't be until 2016 that Uncle Matthias was honoured with a statue, which was originally supposed to be placed in Darwin. However, due to the controversy, due to complaints, or the controversial idea of it being placed in Darwin, it was moved to the Tiwi Islands, where it rightfully belongs. As for Toyoshima, he was eventually put in a couple different prisoner of war camps, the last one being the Cowra camp, which is famous for its breakout, and where our man Toyoshima played an important role, being one of the instigators of the breakout. He alerted the prisoners to the start of the breakout by playing a bugle. During the breakout, Toyoshima was wounded and took his own life. And was later buried under his false name, which he had given when he first was captured. It wouldn't be till many years later that his real name would be discovered. As for Toyoshima's downed Zero, which was the second fighter aircraft to be shot down here in Oz, the wreck was discovered and taken apart and studied, and this was the first Mitsubishi A6M0 to be recovered in relatively intact order in the southern hemisphere, and it proved deeply important to the Allies to be able to have such an intact wreck in order to find weaknesses for the aircraft. Um, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah. Uh, Toyoshima was just the first of what would later become 6 Japanese captured on the Tiwi Islands. The aircraft which he was flying after being studied, some of the pieces eventually ended up in the Darwin Aviation Museum. Other pieces were used to create a kind of Frankenstein Zero aircraft. And back to Uncle Matthias. Despite his heroic and badass acts, unfortunately, not many people know about Uncle Matthias. I myself only found out on a school excursion to our nation's capital, when we went to the War Memorial in our nation's capital, learning about all these heroes, mostly soldiers, and then hearing a story about a man who is not a soldier, but yet still played an important role and did something badass, like capturing the first prisoner of war on Aussie soil. And it's something that stuck with myself and many other of the students. So, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say, or as much as I can remember to say. Thank you all for those who participated, and I hope come every February that you guys, along with myself, remember Uncle Matthias and what he did for his country, despite the fact that his country did not recognize him. And thank you. Alright, so this is the giveaway draw for the bonus prize. These are our entrants: David, Rabbi Picker, Runesmith, Fighting Lockpicker, Grouchy Lenny, Lord Kodiak, Swamp Picker, Lock Saga, Crow Llama, and TX Rebel. Once again, they're numbered. We've got our dice, and let's roll. That's a reroll. That one is a 9. TX is eliminated. That one is a 1. Rabbi is eliminated. I feel like I misplaced something. Alright, never mind. All good, found what I supposedly lost. Alright, roll again. I'll re-roll that one. That one's a 4. Grouchy Lenny is eliminated. Roll again. That one is a 6, which means Swamp is eliminated. How many go left? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 6 people left. Okay, let's roll again. 8. It's Crow Llama eliminated. Roll again. 2. Runesmith is eliminated. Got, what's this? 4 people left? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 4 people left. 0. David is out. 3 people left. 5. Lord Kodiak is out. Now, down to 2 people. Fighting Lockpicker and Lock Saga. Same as before. Heads and tails on the coin. Fighting is tails. Lock Saga is heads. Here we go. Heads it is. Which, if I remember correctly, heads was for Lock Saga. So, Fighting Lockpicker is eliminated, and our winner for the bonus is Lock Saga. And again, thank you all for those who entered. Peace.